Hi YouTube. It's been a while. Um, my hair is short. I have been wanting to get my hair cut short anyway. That's been in my thoughts for about 5 months, I think. But I wanted to donate my hair to a wig maker's. Something that can be used for those having chemotherapy at the moment. So my husband cut my hair. I think it was about a foot long, and bagged it up. I made sure that my hair was clean. They accept dyed hair. The name of the place that accepts this is the Little Princess Trust. They are wig makers. And Nick decided to get his hair cut short as well. So he's had his hair cut short. Shorter than mine. More of a male orientated haircut. Anyone that knows him knows that he's always, for a very long time, had long hair. So we both now have short hair. It's been packaged up in an envelope with a note, and it's going to get sent off in the next few days. So that's one good deed. If anyone else is thinking of getting their hair cut short and it's at least 7 inches long and hasn't been chemically straightened, the terms and conditions for hair donation can be found on the Little Princess website. So that's a good deed done. Today's symptoms, I know I haven't updated for a while, but the tight feeling around my rib cage is now all the way around. It's not painful, but it's there. I can feel it right now. And my spine, part of it feels warm. Again, not in any pain, but I don't feel like me. With the dizziness and everything else going on, I don't feel like me. Physically or mentally. I'm getting by every day. I'm going back to work on Monday because I can't keep staying off work. I need to get back to work, earn some money, have a job, see some people. Try and work its way through this. So I'm looking forward to the distraction of having a job again. I have spent many of my videos talking about the bad guy I referred to previously. I have promoted awareness of it, hated it, but it might not be the bad guy. I remember at the end of a camping trip in July, where the weather was awful, the tent regularly got flooded. It was the fantastic weather, and I ended up having to sleep out on the grass sometimes because I was so wet, and I had to leave my clothes on the grass to dry. Shortly after I got back from camping, I had a rash around, red rash. I put it down to stress. I wish I hadn't. After the whole brain lesions thing, someone reminded me of the rash. It was Nick. It reminded me of the rash and mentioned Lyme disease. I wish I had listened to him at the beginning. So that's another possibility for what it could be. The problem that I have is Lyme disease can mimic MS. In fact, there's even, and you can look this up, there's even evidence to support that MS is caused by Lyme disease, because the cause of MS is unknown. As I've mentioned in previous videos, there are people with MS who, and I'm not afraid to use this word anymore, are being cured via HSCT, which is hematopoietic stem cell therapy. I have made friends with people who have had that, and I've seen people cured of MS. Now this is where my lack of science is very proficient, because my understanding of HSCT is your immune system is reset. So MS is treated like an autoimmune disease, kind of like Lyme is, although Lyme is bacterial. It masks itself as an autoimmune disease. I've read a lot of stories where someone is originally diagnosed with MS and then just in passing is tested for Lyme disease and it's positive. Remember what I said, Lyme disease can mimic MS in every single way. Lesions, physical symptoms, neurological symptoms, every single way. So I genuinely believe that HSCT can cure so much more than MS. It's curing cancer at the moment, but it can cure so much more. I genuinely believe that the cause of MS is Lyme disease. The problem that I have is the awareness of Lyme disease in the UK is very limited, very misunderstood. The rash appeared at the end of July, so this has been in my system for about 5 months. It's disgusting to think that there could be bacteria in my body right now doing this. What's even more disgusting is this disease is curable, but it takes time, it takes money, and the NHS will only, if you're lucky, give you 4 weeks of antibiotics, which will temporarily stave off the infection. The thing with Lyme disease is to catch it early. That, I believe, is what the 4 weeks of antibiotics will cure you of. But I don't think I can be cured by 4 weeks of antibiotics. Another problem that we have is the diagnosis blood test used for diagnosing Lyme disease, called the ELISA. It was originally made to diagnose HIV and then was used for Lyme disease. But the success rate of an ELISA is 30%. A lot of people get tested for Lyme disease. They get false because the test doesn't look in the right places, and they are misdiagnosed as MS, ME, chronic fatigue syndrome. It's starting to be linked to ALS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. People are starting to see that this disease can create a lot. There is a lot of online information available in regards to Lyme disease because it can mimic so much. I cannot confirm what is wrong with me. I just have times where I sit every day and wish that I felt normal, that the tightness would go, everything would be back to normal. So, on a side note, I visited my father today. Someone that I haven't seen for 9 years. I left my original home when I was 19, just before I turned 20 actually. 14th of October 2005. And since then I didn't exchange a word with him or a glance with him until today. It was weird to talk to him, but it was nice. I felt it needed to be done. I told him about what was wrong with me. He's got something wrong with him too. He gets a pain in his groin that comes and goes, and they've ruled out something to do with his liver, something to do with his gallbladder. He's also waiting for an answer. I guess that's something that we've got in common. So I am talking to him again. I felt that there was nothing to lose. And I must say it was nice to talk to him again. It was nice. Normal talking. I don't know what the future will hold. But one thing I will say, if you are watching this, is to look up the links between MS and Lyme disease and actually look at Lyme disease, because it can be spread more than beyond a tick bite. I don't remember being bitten by a tick or a bug in that area, but I remember the rash. I wish I'd taken a picture of it. clear. Lyme disease can be spread by more than a tick bite. There is proof that it can be sexually transmitted. There is proof that it can be passed via the placenta from mother to child. You can call me hypochondriac or crazy if you want, but people need to be aware. People are dying of this because those that have lived years with Lyme disease because they can't get the adequate care, they are taking their own lives. I read a story about a woman who had been living with Lyme disease for years, and she ended her life. She couldn't cope anymore. Then, 6 months later, her husband ended his life. I don't know what's wrong with me. I wish I knew. But everything is linked. Please just do some reading and lessen the lines. Please. The more people that educate themselves, the more that can be done. Without sounding overdramatic, I've been writing a very long letter, and in that letter I compared the Lyme outbreak that's going on in the UK right now, because it is happening in the UK. It's not an overseas disease. It's not something that you get when you're on holiday. People being bitten in their back gardens, in the parks. And it's more common than you thought it was. It's not rare. Children are being born with it. But this letter goes on to compare the Lyme outbreak to the Great Plague of 1665. I know medicine has come a long way since 1665, but the way that the people were treated, the awareness that was created for this plague, the same thing is happening in the UK. Please just do some reading. There are people that are dying of this. People that have spent their lives living with it, begging for help, and they've been unable to get it. And they've just given up. Is that fair? In this day and age, is it fair to allow someone to live a life of pain, debilitating illness? I don't think that's fair. I may not be able to have children. Call me overdramatic if you wish. Anyone who knows me knows that since the age of 18, I have wanted to have children. I have wanted to carry a child in my belly. And with the proof that Lyme can be passed, I may not be able to have children. You have no idea how much that breaks my heart. I know I can adopt. With enough money, I can be cured, because the NHS won't fully cure your Lyme unless you've been bitten 4 weeks ago, I think. People are having to go to specialist clinics, spend out money in places like Germany and the USA. In the USA, Lyme is an endemic. But for years, I have wanted to carry a baby, bring a baby into the world. I was going to be pregnant with my first child before I was 30. I just turned 29. I don't think the UK realised just how much of an effect this is having on people. I know I'm not diagnosed. I am relying on a blood test with a 30% success rating. That misses so many people. There are people who have had negative UK tests and then paid for a private test overseas which has come back positive. I can't afford that. The NHS needs to realise just how real Lyme is, how much it's affecting the world. And in the UK, there are people who want to work. I'm lucky that I can still physically work. I have no idea what the future will hold. There are people who are having children born with this disease. These children are not going out running along grass. They're being born with it, and there are tests that are proving that they have been born with this disease. There are tests that have been done proving that those that have passed away from MS and Alzheimer's had this disease in their brain when they passed. These good people just want to live a normal life, have children, have jobs, grow up and experience the world. That's what I want. I'm going to end this here because I will probably end up getting too deep. But again, I beg you, do some reading, educate yourself. I'm not calling on Dr. Google, but the UK does need to be made aware. It's in Australia, it's in the USA, and it's spreading. Please bear this in mind. This is not my own personal vendetta for my own health. This is something that I am trying to spread. From the mouth of a woman who is 29 and wants children, who had already chosen names for these children. Who thought about what colour nursery the wall should be. There is proof that it can be passed from placenta to baby. I just want to have kids. I want to make my husband a father. I want to carry that life in my belly, knowing that when that life is born, they have a carte blanche, a chance to live That's what they need. I think everyone wants that. So please, do some reading. Thank you for listening.